Hey everybody, it is Tony Vaughn. It is January 2019. I hope you had a fantastic holiday season with family and friends, and you're off to an awesome start for 2019. We are 2 weeks in, and how many of you have already abandoned your resolutions? And if that's you, that's okay. Don't fret, because I am here with you today to do a resolution revive. So I've got 3 big ideas that I want to talk about today. But first, we want to talk about a problem that takes place when we set out to do our resolutions. So a lot can be said about resolutions, a lot can be said about goal setting, but I really have 3 big ideas for you today that will help you revive those resolutions if you've fallen off a little bit. So first things first, though, what happens sometimes when we set out to put resolutions in place is we really don't spend that much time strategizing and thinking about what's important to us and why we want what we're setting out to do for the year. So we say things like, maybe I'll lose a little bit of weight, or maybe I'll stop eating so much sugar, or, I'll stop smoking, or things like that, which, by the way, all fantastic things. But without the 3 big ideas that I want to talk about today, it's just really not going to inspire us, and it's not going to set us up for success. So what I want to talk to you about today, these 3 big ideas, are going to increase the likelihood that you will be successful and achieve what it is you desire most. So the first big idea is starting with a question of what is going to make the greatest impact in my life right now? What's most important to me? And we can find the answer to that question by looking at the 5 major areas of our life. And the first one is health, and that can be mental, physical, emotional health. The second area is going to be relationships. That can be with a significant other or a family member, coworkers, how we relate to the people who are in our lives. Third one is going to be our resources. Most often we think about financial resources, but it can also be time, things like that. The 4th major area of our life is going to be our life work, or our career. And the 5th major area is going to be what I like to call personal power. And that's how are you at being in alignment with who you truly are? How confident do you feel? How often are you being honest with other people, and more importantly, honest with yourself? What's most important to you? So those are the 5 major areas. And what I would like for you to do is grab a piece of paper and a pen. Hopefully you can find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed, and start with health and ask yourself, how satisfied do I currently feel with my health and wellness? And like I said, it can be your mental health, it can be emotional health, physical health, all those types of things count. And then you can also think about, past how satisfied you are, what does excellence, success, happiness look like in this area? And go for each area: health, relationship, finances or resources, careers or your life work, and personal power. And at the end of this exercise, you should start to get a feeling for what is most important to you. Now, if you are having trouble with that, or that's not working, or things are just not really popping out at you, there's a great writing exercise that you can do. Once again, find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed, pen and paper in hand, and for 5 straight minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it ends up being, just write. Get it all out on paper, no filter, no strategy, you just write. If you think about it, put it down on paper, and just keep writing until the 5 minutes or the 10 minutes is up. And then you should be able to go back to those 5 main areas we talked about and do this exercise again and get a better feel for which area is going to make the highest impact. And that's going to be a much more powerful place to start. And you should probably decide on maybe 1 or 2 areas that speak to you the most. I wouldn't suggest finding one resolution in each of these 5 areas. That's a lot to take on, especially when we're looking to make a big impact and increase our and have a higher likelihood of our success. Maybe pick 1 or 2. There might be a little bit of bleed over. So let's say, for instance, you're trying to increase your confidence. So maybe you start with some of the actions to put that in place is a morning meditation, and maybe you're also going to eat a cleaner diet and exercise, which will also increase your happiness. So that falls under personal power and health, just as an example. So that exercise should be able to help you get back to finding out what's going to be really the most important place to start for you. The second big idea I wanted to talk to you about today is the why behind. So basically, when we have a resolution, we're saying there's something that I want and I don't currently have it. So that's going to require some action be taken, and things that are maybe uncomfortable, things that we're not used to doing. And so on those days when you're just tired, something unexpected comes up, which can throw off your day, or there are things that maybe you just don't feel like it. You're just not up for it. What is going to work for you to get you out of bed on that cold, dark winter morning to maybe do that yoga session that you've set out to do, or that morning meditation or something? Whatever it is, there has to be what I like to call a compelling why, which speaks directly to the vision that you have set out for having, being, doing, whatever it is that you said that is important to you. What is the compelling why that is going to help you get back on track? Maybe it's that you've set out that you want to model the right type of behavior for someone important to you. Maybe you have a family member who looks up to you, or a significant other who is waiting for your lead. And that is enough to say, look, this person's counting on me. They are expecting me to show up in a big way today. And I am not going to let this opportunity go by without keeping within integrity. Maybe that's enough. Maybe it's not for someone else. Maybe it's for yourself. Maybe you're really good at honoring your commitments to other people, but you're not doing very well with honoring the commitment to yourself and keeping an integrity there. So having that compelling why and keeping it close is what's going to keep you on track on those instances where maybe the best laid plans get disrupted. So that's big idea number 2. So big idea number 3 is action and accountability. So often when we set out, we know why we're doing what we're doing, and it's really important to us. We've identified it as being something that we really want, but we haven't tied an action, which therefore creates accountability. So for instance, let's say maybe you said, I'm going to save more money this year. Maybe that's something you've identified as something that's really important to you. Well, that's great, but just saving more money is probably not going to happen unless you tie an action plan which demands accountability. So for instance, instead of just saying I would like to save more money, setting up an automatic deposit where $50 every single month goes into an account which you have decided you will not touch, or maybe you deposit into an account like a retirement account, an employer-sponsored plan, which you don't even have the option to touch. And you are going to set it, and this is an important part, by a specific date. That's the accountability piece. So you say, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to set this up by this date, as an example. The other piece to this, which is really, really, really important, is anticipating potential obstacles. Having an action plan for things that might trip you up is vitally important when you are looking to improve in an area of your life where maybe it's not as simple or as straightforward, or maybe you've tried at it before and you're just not seeing the results. Having a plan of action which will keep you from falling off is vitally important. So let's say, for instance, you've decided that you're going to eat healthier. So one way that you can keep yourself on track is always having a healthy snack bag at your desk. So if there's someone who constantly has maybe donuts or something at the office and you're hungry and it's too easy to just grab something that's sugary and sweet to give you that little burst of energy, commit to always having a healthy option. Maybe it's apples or carrots or an avocado or a banana or something that is quick and easy to grab that you will have as a better option, knowing that those unhealthy options may be there. So maybe you say, I am committing that every Sunday I am going to go grocery shopping and spend a few hours prepping some healthy options, which will set me up for success throughout the whole week. Another really powerful exercise, as an example, is, say for instance, you're going to be kinder or more present with the people in your life. Maybe that's a relationship goal where you set aside 2 minutes before you enter a room. Maybe you sit in your car for a few extra minutes when you get home from work and you say, this is important to me. As soon as I enter, as soon as I walk through the door, I'm going to be present and kind and engaged with the person. And if I ask, how's your day? It's not just the soft, fluffy, oh yeah, it was good. My day was good. Yours was good. Great. Everything. We didn't even talk about anything. So decide that you're going to spend a few extra minutes, take a deep breath, remind yourself this is important to you, and be engaged when you walk through that doorway and you're ready to be with whoever it is that you've decided that you want to do that with, just as an example. So those are the 3 big ideas. Of course, I have a bonus for you. So you've looked at the 5 major areas of your life. You've decided what's most important. You have your compelling why, which is going to help you stay on track on maybe the times when you're not really feeling it. And then you have your action plan, which is going to create accountability. Your bonus is you have to find a mirror and you have to commit. You have to look yourself in the eye and you have to say, this is important. You are worth it, and I am going to honor my commitment to you, awesome person in the mirror. And this is something that I've identified as important to me, and even if I fail 100 times, I'm going to keep at it. If I fall short over and over and over again, I will not give up. If March rolls around and you've lost sight of the resolutions or the goals that you set out that are important to you, find this video, find something that inspires you, get back in front of the mirror and recommit. Because you probably know by now, if you've tried something new, that it might not be simple and it might not be straightforward. And if you did fail 100 times, but ultimately you still succeeded at what was important to you, does it really matter if you failed 100 times? Or let me ask you this. If you fail 5 or 6 times and then you quit, are you going to be happier than if you failed 100 times, but then you ultimately achieved what it is that is important to you? No way. But that's human nature. And you have to know that going in, that we may fail over and over and over and over again. But if we stick with it, that's when the breakthrough takes place. And that's when we really get to a point where we become more consistent, is when we just wake up the next day and get back at it. You might have a bad day. You might have a bad week. You might have a bad month. You might have a bad year. But the version of you that has what you want is the version of you that refuses to give up, refuses to throw in the towel. The person that gets in front of the mirror again and says, look, last week was a bad week, but you know what? This week I'm showing up. Another tip is, too often we think about the finish line. If we're trying to lose 20 pounds or something like that, we unfortunately, the 20 pounds seems so daunting that we focus just on that. And we forget to celebrate the wins of, maybe I lost a pound this week. And so focusing on the daily wins and making sure you win today, that's going to help you stay on track. That's going to help you be successful. So remember, you fall off track, just get right back on. And you have to be the person, the version of you that looks yourself in the mirror and says, no matter what, I will not let today go by without moving this resolution forward. Say, for instance, you set a goal to be active every single day and the day just slips away. Right before you go to bed, do 20 push-ups, 20 squats, and a 30-second plank. At least then you are doing something and you are staying in integrity with yourself. It doesn't take much, but consistency is going to be the way that helps you get what it is that you truly want, and it's going to be not giving up. You owe it to yourself. Now that you know what you want, now you can go after it and you can get it. You really can do it. Just be the person, the version of you that refuses to give up, and you can do it. And what I want to leave you with today is take these 3 big ideas, take the time, you're worth it, you can do it. Don't worry if you fall off. I hope you found this video helpful. Keep it close by if in a few weeks you need a refresher to keep you on track. If you have enjoyed it, like, share, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I wish you all the best today and every day.